Well, hello everyone, and welcome to this live NewTek video webcast. TriCaster for radio, grow your radio station revenue and audience with live video streaming. Well, my name is Rex Olson, and today we are focusing specifically on the radio industry. We're going to be talking about some of the new opportunities for radio to expand its audience using video on the web, and we'll also be talking to online content managers Justin Emery and Anthony Alfano about how they've been using the NewTek TriCaster at Clear Channel's KISS FM in Boston. But first, here's a quick introduction to the NewTek TriCaster portable live production system. NewTek TriCaster is an integrated video production system that allows you to create, record, and stream live to the internet quickly and easily with professional results. TriCaster offers many of the capabilities of a live television truck in a compact and portable production system. It's like a television studio in a box. Now any video production can have the look and feel of live network television with multi-camera switching and special effects, video graphics, audio mixing, video playback, high-quality digital disc recording, and more. And with TriCaster's exclusive live set virtual set system, you can achieve the look of a large television facility in a very small production space. Reach a global audience with TriCaster. Send your video live over the internet at the push of a button. NewTek TriCaster is compact and portable. It sets up in minutes and is easy to use. Professional network quality video production just got a whole lot easier with NewTek TriCaster. NewTek TriCaster received Radio World's Cool Stuff Award at NAB in 2007. And of course, this webcast is being produced entirely with the TriCaster. You can find out more information about the TriCaster and other NewTek products at newtek.com/radio. Now, at any time during this program, feel free to type in a question in the chat window on this page, and we're going to be answering some of these questions toward the end of the program. Well, today we are talking to those of you in the radio industry about some of the benefits of live video streaming on the web with the NewTek TriCaster. You know, we've seen some changes in the broadcast industry lately with loss of ad revenue, increasing overhead, and growing competition from alternative media sources. Listeners are constantly being bombarded by more and more options for how they receive news and entertainment. Joining us today to talk about some of these issues is a radio industry veteran who's been on the station side as well as the syndication and network side of the radio industry and is now part of the NewTek family. Please welcome Patricia Baker. Hi, Pat.
Hi, Rex.
Pat, why is all this happening? Why is radio experiencing some of these issues?
Well, one of the big reasons, Rex, is that the consumer media habits have drastically changed, particularly among the younger generation. Clearly, consumers are demanding more variety, and we're also seeing what we call platform promiscuity. There are now 4 screens competing for our attention: TV, PC, mobile, such as the iPhone, and personal navigation devices. Radio is playing catch-up to these other sources, and the business model needs to embrace this new media. It's where the audiences and the advertisers are migrating. Typical consumers are now spending up to 1/3 of their media day on the internet. According to a 2006 media audit report, the average U.S. adult spent 2.1 hours per day online. In 2008, that number jumped to 3.8 hours. The internet is now representing up to 1/3 of a typical consumer's media day as compared to radio, TV, newspaper, and the like.
Wow. So how can radio broadcasters take advantage of some of this new media?
Radio as a traditional media offers content that is highly desirable to local consumers, whether it's news, weather, sports, or other local information. They also have recognized brand names, call letters, on-air personalities, community ties, and a local sales force. The challenge is how to take this to a new level and make existing programming more dynamic, to make it more desirable to the audience and the advertisers, as well as creating new programming for both on the air and on demand. Radio broadcasters have to stop thinking of themselves just as radio, but as media companies in the business of developing, creating, and providing compelling media content.
So how does video fit into this media company scenario?
I see it as a natural extension of radio. You know, the days of keeping talent in the studio behind the mic are long gone. Consumers are looking for something unique, exclusive events, behind the scenes, and behind the velvet rope. Streaming video with the TriCaster allows stations to transform their radio listeners into online viewers. Offering this new online product not only retains an existing audience, but it attracts a whole new audience, providing increased advertising and promotional opportunities such as product placement and on-screen branding.
Okay, so how can NewTek TriCaster help a station get going with video on the web?
The TriCaster allows broadcasters to create high-quality video content from the radio content that they already produce. Streaming video also provides an opportunity to enhance the relationship radio already has with its audience. For example, Steve Harvey has been using TriCaster to bring his listeners right into the studio. Creating new live and on-demand content for websites gives the audience an opportunity to see their favorite personalities and the in-studio guests. TriCaster can also record the live stream and create demand video clips to put up on the website for later viewing. ESPN Radio 1050 in New York has been using the TriCaster to video stream their daily in-studio radio broadcast to their website. Their audience is able to listen during drive time and then continue by viewing on their computers. TriCaster is also perfect for live remotes. Jeff Scopin, who's the web manager of ESPN Radio 1050, was telling us that when they're on a remote with TriCaster, they actually tend to draw a larger crowd because it looks and it feels more like a big media event with lights and cameras rather than just a couple of guys with microphones.
That's great. So how easy is it for a station to get started?
Well, with cameras and a TriCaster, a station can be producing professional quality video in very little time. TriCaster is not only compact and portable, it's very easy to use and it doesn't require specialized training. With over 42% of stations already streaming audio, streaming video is not that big of a leap.
Okay, so obviously there's an investment involved. What is the revenue potential of video streaming for a station?
Live video streaming and web video offer radio additional sponsorship opportunities. So when a station goes to commercial break in its radio broadcast, for example, the video web stream sponsorship can be offered as an additional advertising opportunity, thereby potentially doubling ad sales with the same programming. Offering web video allows radio stations to attract advertisers that have previously been unable to approach. And unlike terrestrial radio with its quarterly rating periods, with live video on the web, a station knows the number of viewers that are watching the video stream instantly. And this allows them to be more versatile and more effective. CBS station WFAN in New York streamed live video of a press conference with Yankees third baseman Alex Rodriguez. Now normally, the Fan draws about 8,000 to 10,000 radio listeners a day. This one live video web stream with the TriCaster drew 20,000 viewers to their website.
Wow, that's impressive. So why is it important for radio broadcasters to be considering web video now?
Well, we've been hearing for quite a while that the internet is the future of radio and television. We feel the future is right now because it's never been easier to get started. Stream or die, a slogan we use here at NewTek because it's important to realize the benefits of live video streaming to stay competitive, deliver what your audience demands, and outperform your competition.
Well, that's great. Well, let's talk to a station that chose to stream rather than die. Clear Channel's KISS 108 in Boston has been using NewTek TriCaster for web video content and live streaming. Let's bring in via Skype video Justin Emery and Anthony Alfano. Welcome, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hey, how you doing?
So why did KISS 108 decide to add video to its programming?
Well, I think it's kind of a lot of what you've been talking about. You know, we see more and more of the audience kind of migrating to the web, regardless of what traditional media they previously were using. So, as they're moving more and more towards the web, we've got to keep up. And, radio itself, I mean, we're trying to approach it as more of a content delivery system, as a company and particularly, as a focus in our market.
Okay. So before you got involved with the TriCaster, how are you producing web video before that?
Generally, we're just taking the cameras that we had, 1 to 2 or 3, whatever, and just filming it. And then they would try to hire part-timers maybe to come in, or I'd go out myself and just film certain events that we had and try to like capture it that way. And then the problem we always came into is I'd have 3 or 4 tapes of like great stuff, but I had the next thing I had to worry about. So honestly, it was more like taping stuff and then eventually putting it to archive or just trying to bring it back for the recap purposes. I mean, the big reason why we wanted to do it is for the recap. So like Anthony had said, it's a big audio medium. So when we do like a big promotion with Bow Wow or, Lady Gaga or somebody like that, people who couldn't go want to be able to see it. So that was the original goal why we started to do a lot of videos, to try to deliver and compete, really.
Okay. So then you got the TriCaster. How did the TriCaster change the way that you produce videos there?
I mean, it just made it a lot easier. Like I said before, like I had 3 tapes. You have to like log them all into the computer and then chop them up. And then this way we can do like the live switching and the green screen, and it's just time, really.
Yeah, it's everything. I mean, it really is. Efficiency is definitely the key. Where previously you had 3 tapes with an hour worth of footage, and you're looking at, with a part-time, you're looking at a week worth of, post-production and editing and, having to drop the titles and everything. This is, the studio in the box. It really is. It's really, it's titling, it's chroma keying, it's everything kind of one solution, and it makes it really easy to the point where we actually can use part-timers to kind of do the whole production on their own.
That's great. So how easy was it to integrate the TriCaster into the other operations of the station?
Simple. I mean, it was kind of a no-brainer. It kind of fits itself into like naturally, because you'll be in meetings or talk about some ideas that you have about promotions with the jocks or with artists or whatever, and then you're like, well, we have the TriCaster, how can we use that? And it just kind of like pops up. I mean, our company itself, it became such a topic of conversation between concerts and pre-planning and stuff like that now our whole office, like, it's like the buzzword, and kind of gets a little eye control, because everybody's like, well, can't we just do this and this and this? And I'm like, yeah, but it's just us.
But,
we can do the world.
On that note too, it is just us, but actually with just us we can do a lot, because for instance, we do weekly entertainment shows, and with just Justin or just myself, you can sit down, we do the teleprompter with one hand and we switch with the TriCaster in the other. I mean, we set up stationary cameras, and we can pretty much do the whole production as a single person with an on-air personality.
Well, that's great. Now, so did you have very much video production experience before all of this?
I had a little bit. I'd actually used the TriCaster working with Polk County Schools in Central Florida. We actually had high school kids working it to do the big screens for some award shows they do. So I mean, that just goes to show how easy the unit is to use.
And Anthony, what about you?
No video experience at all. I mean, probably about 6 months prior to we started using the TriCaster, I tried to learn like Final Cut and computer programs and stuff like that, which I was able to handle, but it was just very time consuming, and it was also really just clunky,
I wanted to ask a question as far as sponsorship and advertisers have been incorporated. I noticed you had a screen behind one of the personalities with Comcast. How are the advertisers and the sponsors embracing this?
Oh, I mean, they love it. I mean, the great thing is, well, I mean, the reality is it's really hard to get sponsorships on anything right now, and that's no news to everybody. But what the TriCaster is allowing us to do is deliver things that that other people can't deliver, at least at this point in time, and really kind of go to that next level and deliver that kind of oh wow product that you really need to catch people's attention, and give them a good reason why we're the people to go with.
So what kind of projects are you doing there at the station with the TriCaster?
We do some regular projects and we do special projects. A lot of the regular projects that we do are with our station staff, like our personalities will host little, weekly wrap up of entertainment or entertainment news. Like, it's kind of like they try to pretend that they're, doing Entertainment Tonight or E, and they'll sit there in one of the live set studios and, point to the video screens, or like they're on the news desk and just do entertainment stories. But it's a way for us to wrap up the week and then add some video elements to their web pages, and then try to build traffic and complete the circle with the whole daily reporting of the stories. And then we have the backstage stuff?
Yeah, I mean the backstage stuff is where we really get excited. I mean that's the kind of thing where we have backstage interviews and we have a live stream that that goes out to the world, and in a lot of cases, we have just as many people watching at home for our concerts as we do in the venue. So it's really a pretty cool thing, and it's as we talked about sponsorship. I mean, the last 3 concerts have all been sponsored as far as we sold interactive packages.
So how many concert events do you have each year?
We do 4 major concerts. We have 2 stations in the market that we use the TriCaster with, and we do 4, 15 to 20,000 people events every year. Mm-hmm. And we've now integrated the TriCaster into that operation. Like we have a whole room set up backstage where we have artists come through, before they go and do the performance, they'll come into the backstage lounge, which that also itself gets sponsored. And then it's the TriCaster set up with as the center point, the centerpiece, but there's also other little stops along the way where they'll take photos with people or whatever. And we can kind of use the TriCaster for that as well. Before they get to the interview, we're kind of doing just B-roll kind of footage of them making the rounds around the room and doing all the promo stops. And they get to the centerpiece and talk to the jocks, and they do the interview, and then we film that live over the stream. So it's really become, it's like we produced really 8 shows instead of 4, because each one of the backstage things that we do is like a whole nother is like another show.
And how do the artists generally respond to the whole live web stream thing?
They love it. I mean, it kind of shocks them because they're like, wait, it's radio? You guys are doing this? And you're like, yeah. I mean, some of our studios and the sets that we use far surpass some even regular television studios that do backstage interviews, live location remotes and stuff.
That's great.
I mean, that's a key thing too. I mean, when you're dealing with whether it's on-air personalities or artists, sometimes it can be hard to get them excited about certain things, and when you can get them excited, by walking into, for example, our studio that we film at here with video, it's kind of like walking into the green room. We've got the lights and the cameras, and now they get excited, and the product is just that much better because they really want to contribute, and they're putting their all into it.
And they brainstorm on their own. They come up okay, well now can I do that and do this, and they kind of see the opportunity with the live sets and stuff, and then their wheels start turning, and then a week later they'll come down to us and hey, well, I was thinking, what if I pretended I was doing this at a sports game, or it kind of just starts the creativity back in. And as we all know, it kind of puts some of the creativity back into radio, whereas now it's a lot of really quick talking, less talking the better, keep the listeners listening to music more than talk. So it lets them have more of an outlet than traditional radio has been recently.
That's great. So it's really kind of become a creative source that kind of grows some new ideas, and you can try some new things.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we try to get them sponsored.
Yeah. So what happens when an artist stops by the station? You mentioned that he typically takes the tour. What kind of projects will you do with an artist?
Sure. Well, it's definitely a part. The TriCaster at this point has found its way kind of seamlessly into the overall routine. So they'll go upstairs first. They'll do the interview with with one of our on-air personalities. Then they'll come down and we'll have them do web IDs, which we use at the concerts on the big screens to promote the website or other things we're trying to promote, and then we'll also have them cut some IDs so that we can put them in pre-roll inventory on the site when we have some remnant inventory. The other thing is we do rapid fire interviews on KISS. We call it 108 seconds. On Jam it's 94.5 seconds, but it's really just kind of rapid fire interviews that kind of focus on it's that kind of nice neat minute and a half quick fire kind of question rounds. And then the other thing is a lot of times we're fortunate enough to have the artists come in and perform for us, and in that case we can do a really nice 3-camera shoot with nothing other than a low lighting kit and 3 cameras, which sometimes we just have set up stationary, and we're able to switch among all 3 cameras. When the performance wraps up, we just package it up. We started rendering, which especially on this unit, I mean the rendering time I found to be excellent, especially compared to some of the standalone post-production editing programs. And it's pretty much once we film them and take 10 minutes to render it, it's pretty much ready to go.
So, did you find the TriCaster to be difficult when you first started working with it, or I mean, how does it work out now for you?
It's easy. I mean, it really is very easy. Like when we got our TriCaster, I got like a training call, and actually we were lucky to have somebody come show me how to use it. And it was like one afternoon, and then we kind of jumped right in. Like we got the TriCaster, and then we started using it backstage for the stream. Luckily, the first year we had it, we didn't sell it because we want to make sure it all works and that I didn't screw it up. But we had the TriCaster going, and within 24 hours, I was sitting there learning how to switch between the 3 cameras we had in our artist lounge. And then now it's to the point where Anthony and I are teaching some of our part-timers and some of our interns even how to use it. So, for example, right now they're filming something while we're on the call. So,
well, it sounds like the TriCaster has paid for itself.
Excuse me?
I said it sounds like the TriCaster's paid for itself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it paid for itself within a year, really. I mean, between all the sponsorships and everything else, I mean, really most of pretty much everything we've talked about, actually, with the exception of one of the newer shows that we just started doing, they've all been sponsored. And the studio itself that we film in has been sponsored. So it's definitely paid for itself.
That's great. So
yeah, we were lucky to jump on that quickly.
So you've integrated this the concept of having live web streaming and video on the website. The sales team, have they pretty much embraced the idea of going out and selling these new products?
Yeah, especially for the I mean, I'd say in the concerts, we definitely shine. But just in general, being able to come down here for them and to see what we've got going on. We've got a lot of special projects, and we've really kind of unleashed the creativity, I think, on their end, to where we don't have a whole lot of limitations now as far as video goes. We're pretty much a full production unit. So I think it's going to continuously become more and more a part of the sales that go on. But they're always we do our promotions meetings every week with salespeople, and they're always, trying to think of ways to, how to use the TriCaster in the video and everything else. So they really embrace it. I think it's like, it's like everything else, where they're going to become more and more comfortable with it, and then as they do, they're going to be more and more comfortable bringing those ideas to, in turn to their clients. And I really think it's kind of what has to happen. Because at this point, it is really about content delivery and being able to deliver it in all different media.
Well, it sounds like you need to get a second one.
We actually just had to return the loaner. Yeah, we had to for the last show.
So what are some of your favorite things about the TriCaster and using it?
I mean, it really just is the efficiency and the way you can produce really a professional image.
Yeah, that's professionalism.
Yeah, it's before it was it was a few cameras, and we did some we pulled it into Final Cut, and we were changing camera angles, and it looked pretty good. But I mean, with this, being able to do the chroma keying.
The fader is my favorite. The fading.
Yeah,
really, it just makes the shots look great. I mean, it just makes it almost look like the Jumbotron videos when you go to a concert. Like we had Jordan Sparks was probably the first artist that we had to do performance with, and we had like just 2 cameras. One of them was like an old camera that we had out of the booth. I mean, out of our storage that we hadn't used in a while, and just set them all up. And like just with the fading, even though some of the lighting was off because I just learned how to use it, and the fading alone just made it look so professional when you look back and look at the video. That I was like, oh wow, it's kind of like I feel like one of the guys at like the concert was like filming, the person with the guitar and just making it like the shots kind of like creative and everything.
And that's the thing too is Justin and I aren't per se video professionals, and that's kind of the beauty of the unit. I mean, even with doing something like keying, which can sometimes be a pretty tough thing to do. Like we said, we just have the low light kit. We set the light kit up the best that to the best of our ability, and it pretty much takes care of the rest. I mean, it's really forgiving, and the results are always really sharp.
So I want to talk a little bit about the virtual sets now. I don't know if people realize this, but the set that we are on right now is a virtual set, and it's generated from within the TriCaster itself. In fact, I'm going to ask our engineer to go ahead and turn our live set off for a second so you can see what it actually looks like in here. It looks like me in front of Anthony and Justin. No, actually, we're just sitting in front of a green wall, actually. But the TriCaster allows you to click a couple of buttons and bring a set right in, a live set, and boom, you have a very rich looking set. And there we go, we're back in the set. So what do you guys think of the live set, virtual set capabilities of the TriCaster?
I mean, that's particularly one of those things that gets the people, whether it's on-air personalities or whatnot, really excited. When we've taken people for tours, some people are like, wow, I really thought you had a studio, for real. I mean, we've taken people through and they really just
even
can't
our own
believe
staff. I mean, like, they'll watch some of the videos we produce with our personalities, and they, the way we're set up here is that we're actually on our web department's on a different floor just because of spacing. So they don't actually see a lot of what we do, like, as we're doing it. So they're like, oh, we thought you just had a set. We didn't know. And they came down here for something else, and we'd show them. So it's pretty convincing.
Especially, we run a pretty limited footprint, and typically when you're keying, you want to allow for as much space between the subject and the backdrop, and we only have so much space. But like I said earlier, it's really forgiving, and the quality is really good. And then to put on top of that, you can do the titling and everything else. And you can set up multiple camera angles where you're getting the different angles in the studio, and just add that kind of depth and that extra kind of layer of realism, as if you're really in that environment. And it's really it's a pretty amazing thing. It's one of those things you kind of have to see to see and experience to really realize how cool it is.
Like, Rex, I can't see what set you're on, but I know there's the one that has the desk, like the news desk. It builds in the reflection of the person even, which I mean, every time I show that to somebody, they're always amazed. Like, we're sitting, you're just sitting at a regular desk, and then they'll move their hand and they'll see their shadow moving, and it just blows their mind.
That's great. So about how big is your studio space there? I mean, what kind of size of an area you're working in?
At best, I mean, it's probably 20 wide by 30 long. I mean, it's tight.
That's for everything. That's the
for
space, the studio.
All the lights, the green screen.
So as far as the live streaming capabilities, how did you find it? Had you done much live web streaming prior to the TriCaster?
Yeah, when we originally started, it was just like a one camera stream, where we just set up, it was direct camera to stream, direct feed. So we kind of just set it and leave it there. And a lot of the times what we're doing, I mean, we do a lot of the live stream. This was originally at concerts. So, I mean, the backstage stuff, there's so many angles. You want to zoom in and make sure you can see the artist. The people get in the way. And at the time, we had no way to really fix that. You kind of just had to be like, all right, well, we'll just give them what we can give them. And then with this, we've been able to just deliver much more of we'd be able to
real
put the
TV.
user and listener where they are.
Absolutely, and the setup on that is particularly easy. I mean, we can, we plug in, you set your port, you set your, your IP address, and you click one button, and you're streaming live.
That's great. Well, I mean, it's always great to hear success stories and how people are using the TriCaster. We certainly love to hear that here.
We love it.
Well, hopefully you guys can stick around a little bit, because we're going to go to a question and answer period right now. And allow some of our viewers to present some questions to us, and hopefully we can answer some of those. So, guys, what do you think? Why don't we go to our first question? Well, how do I learn to use it? Well, it's actually very easy, because now the TriCaster ships with a 2-hour training video. In addition, of course, to its complete manual. Makes it very easy to learn. You just follow along, and as Justin Emery said, I mean, how long did it take you guys to learn the TriCaster?
A day, maybe two.
Yeah, I took the manual home. The manual's actually really good, as far as some of those manuals can be a little daunting, but I took it home for a weekend, and we were pretty much rocking and rolling.
That's great. All right, let's see our next question. How many people do I need to run the system? Well, one can do it. In fact, for most productions, I think you'll find that one person operates it just fine. Fortunately, we have some add-ons to the TriCaster. The LC11 live control that allows you to have an external switcher control surface to use with it, and we also have a time warp, which is an external controller for the internal DDRs, so you can break out some of these roles in the production, depending on how big the production is. But Justin, Anthony, how many people typically run the TriCaster there?
1, 2.
Yeah,
Generally one.
it's generally just one person, and we use the live control accessory also, which we think helps a lot.
Okay. Okay, let's go to our next question. What format does TriCaster live stream? That's a good question. TriCaster will stream in both Windows Media and Flash Media formats, and it includes a variety of presets with various frame rates and bit rates as well. So basically any format that or frame rate, bit rate that fits your needs, depending on your connection, the TriCaster can handle. And like you guys said, I mean, it's pretty easy. You just plug it in and pick a preset and pretty much go. Isn't that right?
Yeah, it really is that easy.
You hit the big button, it says stream, and you're done.
One button streaming.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, it is.
Let's go to our next question. How can I get an in-person demo? Pat?
Well, you can email me at radio@newtek.com, and we'll be very happy to come on site with a demo artist and myself and walk you through, let you put your hands on the TriCaster and run it for yourself.
Great. Great. Okay. Any more questions? Okay. How many video inputs does the TriCaster have? Well, there's a few different models. If you go to the website, newtek.com/radio, you'll be able to get to the various models of the TriCaster and take a look at a variety of price ranges. They go from 3 inputs to 6 inputs, and there's a total of additional channels for digital disc players, for text inputs, and for external inputs. But as far as like camera inputs, there's either a 3 or 6 input mode, and models that include composite video, S-video, component, as well as SDI video. What kind of video, guys, are you plugging into your TriCaster there at the station?
We use 3 HD camera. We use the configuration. We use the studio, so it's either 3 or 6 camera.
Mm-hmm.
So we use the 3 camera configuration where we can have a live preview of all 3 feeds. Mm-hmm. And we run in. We were previously we just go. We go components straight in. We just run in through 3 BNC cables.
Okay. Great. All right. Any other questions? I guess not. I'd certainly like to thank Justin Emery and Anthony Alfano from KISS 108 Clear Channel Boston. Thank you very much, guys, for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thanks to NewTek Radio Market Representative Pat Baker as well for joining us. Thanks, Pat.
It was great. Thanks, Rex.
And once again, Pat, how can someone arrange for a personal demonstration of the TriCaster?
Again, you can reach me at radio@newtek.com.
Great. Well, I hope this has been informative. You can find out more about the TriCaster, again, at the NewTek website at newtek.com/radio. Well, I'm Rex Olson, and for everyone here at NewTek, thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you next time.